going on, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy. Thanks so much for taking a little bit of time today to hang out with me. I really appreciate it. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing kind of a sort of like new-ish kind of video where basically I've been doing my staples videos, which you guys seem to be really enjoying. So thanks for all the support on those. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, well, okay, but what about like dual colored or like tricolored or whatever, like good staples that you could run in those colors? And then I figured, okay, and then I kind of like went down a rabbit hole and drafted a couple of these. Some of them are not all done, but I did finish the Simic one, which is what we're doing today, the list, and I was like, let's do this. So these are Simic staples that you can run in your Simic commander deck, or you could run them in a deck where it has Simic colors, like a deck like Riku, for example. Hello, ma'am. So I realized that I've made slightly a grave mistake. And the grave mistake is that my glasses are in the other room, and my computer is there, and my cat is here, and I don't want to get my glasses, so this will be interesting. Okay, let's first start chatting about a cat hair on my mouth. Okay, let's first start chatting about the first card, which is Plasm Capture. Plasm Capture, to me, is like reminds me a lot of Mana Drain in a way. It's obviously more mana. It's 4 mana for a spell. It is counter anything though, so we love that for us. And at the beginning of your next pre-combat main phase, you add X mana in any combination of colors. Now with Mana Drain, for example, that color, it's colorless. But with Plasm Capture, it is any color, where X is that CMC's cost. So you do your little 4 mana counter spell, you counter something that's 6, 8, 12 mana, whatever, you get that into your pool. I really enjoy Plasm Capture. I remember playing with this card. I don't even remember what deck I had this in once upon a time, but it's a good card. I like it. And I don't think it's very expensive too. So if you're looking for a budget option. Speaking of a good budget card, I love this card. I don't feel like people play this, and they should, and that is Biomass Mutation. Let me tell you right now, I have Biomass Mutation in my Simic commander deck, and I love this card. This card is so cool. So basically, all your creatures become X until end, X until end of turn. So basically, someone's like, oh, declare no blockers, and you're like, no blockers, you say? Make them 10/10s, and then you just kill people. It's great. It's an awesome card. I love it. It's like a mana dump card where you just dump all your mana into it, and all your stuff becomes super big. Come on, love that for us. Sorry if you could hear my stomach growling. It's too early for me to eat. I do intermittent fasting, so it's too early in the morning for me to eat. Okay. The next card is Growth Spiral by the one, the only, the Seb McKinnon. We love Seb McKinnon. Okay, I like Growth Spiral. It's like two things. It's very much like Explore. But if you wanted to play this in addition to Explore or in place of Explore, Explore is also sorcery speed, where this is instant speed. You get to draw a card and put a land from your hand into the battlefield. So think about it like this. You're paying 1 mana to draw a card. Good. You're paying 1 mana to put an additional land onto the battlefield. Good. At instant speed. Card is so good. And you can get Seb McKinnon art, which I don't think anyone's going to complain against that. Okay. This is a card that I actually have not seen in a really long time, and I think the reason is because this card literally only exists like 1 or 2 times. This card is Voidslime. People don't know about this card, I feel like, because again, it's only been printed a couple times, and it's kind of expensive for what it is. Last time I checked, it was a couple bucks. But again, it's because it's only been printed like 1 or 2 times. Okay, Voidslime, it's 3 mana. You counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. This is a very interesting counter spell because it does more than just one thing. It's also counter target anything. So you can do literally anything with this. The possibilities are endless. I feel like this is really great in, I don't even want to say in a play, like there's going to be so many activated and triggered abilities that you're going to want to take care of. And the fact that Voidslime just does this is so good. It's a very unique card. You don't see a lot of cards like this. It's a good one. I would pick it up. Okay. I love this card so much. And that is Prime Speaker Zegana. So I actually have Prime Speaker Zegana in Ladies and my Aesi deck. And I feel like I have it in something else, but no, I only own 2 copies of this card, and I love this card so much. It is 6 mana for 1/1, but it gets +X+X, where X is the greatest power among other creatures you control. So my thing to do with this is You know, you play your Prime Speaker, you've got your 5/5, your 6/6, your 7/7, whatever it is. And then a lot of people forget this, but you always draw that one card. So it starts with 1 power. You're always going to draw at least 1 card off this. Like, people seem to forget that ability, that effect with it. But yeah, you do draw 1 card off of Prime Speaker. So play this, do your thing, draw your cards, and now you have a super big creature. Love that for us. This also works as a really good commander too. If you're playing like big things, card's great. Okay, the next card is Frilled Mystic. This card is cool. Wow, we've been talking about a lot of counter spells in this video. Didn't do that intentionally, but Frilled Mystic is a counter spell on a stick. It's 4 mana for a 3/2. It's got flash, and it's battlefield you counter target spell. This card is so cool. It also does say May. Just throwing it out there, it might be relevant. Like, if you were running this in, like, I think I had this card once upon a time in Tasigur, and it was a little awkward. I ended up taking it out because when I would get things back from my graveyard, if you get this back from, what's that card, Deadbird's Chant, you run into the problem of getting Frilled Mystic back, but it's a counter spell, which is really awkward, but it does say May, so it's just something to throw out there. And then after, you know, you counter your thing, it's counter anything, which love that. After it does that, you're left with a 3/2, which is a really nice attacker or a really nice blocker. So Frilled Mystic is really cool. Okay, the next card is, oh, I've been talking about this commander that I have all video, Aesi, don't know how to say it. If I'm saying it wrong, let me know. This card is awesome. Works as a commander, works well even if you don't have this as a commander, just to slot it in a deck. This card is awesome. It's 6 mana for a 5/5. You can play an additional land on each of your turn. Now, that is absolutely excellent. Like, absolutely, we love that. We love playing additional lands. On top of that, every single time you have a land, ETB, guess what you get to do? Best thing in Magic, draw cards. Building a deck around this, but honestly, even if you don't, even if you just slot this into your commander deck, you get access to playing lands and drawing cards. Absolutely incredible. I love this card so much. Okay, the next card is kind of a fan favorite, and that is Tatyova. Tatyova is not one of my personal favorite cards, but I wanted to shout it out because I know a lot of people really like this card. Same thing, you could run this card as your commander, or you could just slot it into your commander deck. It's 5 mana for a 3/3. Pretty nice there. And when a land ETBs, you gain a life and you draw a card. This in Aesi, or this in conjunction with Aesi, is really cool. So whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you do get to gain life and you get to draw cards. Basic. Easy, breezy, beautiful, cover girl. We love it. Okay. Coiling Oracle, or Coracle. This card is so cool. Coracle is just one of those cards that I'm like, how is this card only 2 mana? So it's 2 mana, ETBs, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land, put it on the battlefield. We love that. But guess what? If it's not a land, you just get to draw that card. So it's for me, it's like, I don't care either way. Like, the most ideal thing is, like, you know, you probably want the land to enter the battlefield. And if you're doing something with, like, the top card of your library is being manipulated by whatever, or the top card of the library is revealed with your cards that you're running in conjunction to this, things like Courser, Crufix, Oracle of Moldiah, things like that. You're playing Coiling Oracle, you get that access to that land that enters the battlefield. However, if it does not, you just get to draw a card, and then you're left with the 1/1. We love that. Don't underestimate these, like, cards that just, you're left with the blocker. Those are great. I find those cards, like, there's very, very useful in Commander, you know? And the last card, I forgot that these cycles existed for a while. There's so many cycles, there's so many Magic cards, but there's so many cycles of cards that, you know, I just forget about. And that is called Murkfiend Liege. The Lieges in general are so cool. I really like them. My favorite one, I actually have to say, is the red-white one. I have that in Rain, and I love it. This card is cool. So other green creatures you control get +1/+1. Other blue creatures get +1/+1. If you have a green-blue creature, it gets +2/+2. I love that. And then untap all green and or, that's like a weird It's like a weird little thing in there. And or blue creatures you control during each other player's untap steps. Able to be really aggressive with all of your creatures, or tap your creatures for their various mana, abilities or different abilities or things like that. And then turning around and then punching your opponent and then turning around, untapping all your stuff, and now having this huge defense is so cool. A lot of times what I see from people is, I don't want to attack because then I'm leaving myself up and susceptible to, being attacked. But then a card like this gives you that protection, and it buffs your team on top of that. Just as something to know, it does say other, so it's not going to buff itself. But this is also really cool too because it has the dual, the green or the blue. Also works really well if you're running gods, for example, or something where you need those sorts of symbols to activate your god. Overall, this card is so cool. Really, really cool card. So yeah, guys, that is everything for this video. I'd really like to know what some of your favorite Simic cards are. I only talk about 10 cards per video, so if you mention a card that I don't in here, it might be featured in part 2. So that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you're not already, and I'll catch you on the next one.